I don't want to say much. I would like to welcome on stage our next speaker. That's Monica. Please come on stage and give me applause for her joining us. Monica is the General Secretary of the Pirate Party in Zurich, and she is the opinion leader and very active in the field of digital integrity of the service that we're using, a very important field, not too much related to cybersecurity, but nevertheless very important, and that's why we want to give her some moments here on stage to present the ideas. Thank you so much for being with us. Monica, stage is yours.
Thank you. All right, let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my talk. So, law beats code. Enforcing a legal basis for a safe and human-centric AI. As I'm reading this out loud, I can already hear some of you thinking quite loudly that no, that's not true. It's code beats law. And we're both right, because there's a constant interplay in our society between innovation and regulation. As innovation develops, like now we see with AI, quite rapidly, regulation can lag behind. And we have to find a way to do this. So at the heart of regulation lies the question, very simply, how do we want to live? How do we want to live? What do we want to do with this technology? And I understand law as a social contract, after Rousseau. So that's a common thing. That's not something just someone decides, especially in Switzerland, where we have direct democracy. It's a matter of the general public and of the citizens, so of you as well. And you are in a special position. Many of you are specialists in the field of cybersecurity or computational technology. And you're also citizens, so we need you in this discourse. And I'm here basically to ask you for your help as experts and as citizens. All right, when we try to regulate AI, we have benefits and we have risks or disadvantages even. And what we have to do is we have to kind of balance them. We have to figure out a way so we can get the benefits and mitigate the risks or avoid them altogether. So someone who tried to do this, something like this, very basically, was in 1950, was Isaac Asimov. I'm sure many of you know him. He's a very well-known science fiction writer. And in his short story collection, I, Robot, he put down these 3 laws of robotics. I'm just going to read the first law. Actually, sorry, could I have something to drink? I just realized I can barely talk. Yeah, thank you. All right. So I'm going to read the first law without water. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. The second law, a robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such, thank you, orders would conflict with the first law. I'm going to take a sip, I'm sorry. It's fine, thank you. So the third law, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. So these principles are really well known, but they're so basic. And what Isaac Asimov himself said about it is, I didn't think of something outrageous. This is just common sense. The only thing what I did is I wrote it down. I put it down. That's what lawmaking is too. You write something down, and usually it should be common sense to work for us all. So we are attempting something similar. As you know, I'm the Secretary General of the Pirate Party Zurich, and we came up with an initiative for a fundamental right to digital integrity. At the heart of this initiative is the right to privacy, which is central in the digital age and which is being infringed on in several ways, which you know. And we felt that we had to explicate this further, because the general public often is not aware of how technologies, more recent technologies, especially AI, also infringe on their right to privacy. So we try to explicate this right to make it suitable for the digital age. I'm not going to explain these rights to you because I know you probably understand what we're talking about, because usually the talks I have are to the general public, and there I have to do a lot of explaining. All right, it's a right to be forgotten, a right to an offline life, a right to informational security, a right not to be judged by a machine, a right not to be surveilled, measured, and analyzed, a right to protection from the use of our data without consent. So those are very basic rules, and they are not absolute. Those are fundamental rights, and they have to be applied moderately, because there's a weighing of goods that we do. For example, the economy, or also if we want to use services. You could think of this in a similar way, like the right to physical integrity, that no one can harm you. You give that up when you want to have an operation or need to have an operation. You basically say, yeah, it's okay to do this because I have a benefit. So it can be the same with these rights. They are not absolute, and they, shouldn't harm other aspects of our life. All right, I'm actually curious what the next slide is. Working on our social contract is an ongoing process. And as I said, we need you. Okay, so here comes a fun comparison. You are experts in cybersecurity, and it's a system, just like democracy is a system as well. And I want to compare these two systems. Maybe also to kind of awaken a sense of play in you, that you see, I could also think about this other system, this democratic system, and maybe try to make this a little bit more secure. All right. This is very basic, right? But the first line of defense of computer systems in general is a firewall, which monitors what goes in and out. Analog to this, we have borders in democracy. This button, okay. And then we have an intrusion detection system, which monitors for suspicious activities and sounds the alarm. Analog to this, we have watchdog groups, investigative journalists, and whistleblowers in democracies. We have user authentication to make sure only people are allowed to enter a system that are supposed to. The same way, if you want to alter the democratic system, you have to have rights to do this. You have voting rights, or we have the right to representation. All right. Open source communities and software are there so we can have public scrutiny, so we can enhance and better software quickly and make it safe more easily. Analog to this in democratic systems is freedom of speech, where we also share ideas. We have public scrutiny of them, and we can decide what is best. With computer systems or data, we have encryption, so we can make sure people who are not allowed to see our data cannot. The same thing in democratic systems is privacy, so we can keep our ideas or our feelings or our family and personal lives private, so they cannot be infringed on, or we cannot face repercussions by governments, for example. In cybersecurity, we have a training because attacks are evolving, and so must security. It's a constant process. It's the same thing with democracy. democracies are also under attack or face certain threats. And we have to educate each other and the public to be able to fight back. And every citizen basically is an agent of protection. All right, it's time for another sip, sorry. So, we have these two systems. There are threats and attacks, and what we have to do is defend them. Okay, so this is you. You are visitors or participants at a cybersecurity conference, and you pick the animal that represents you best. And you are professionals, but you are also people in suits, maybe. That's not what I want to say. Maybe you are a little bit more formal today. Oh, now I remember what kind of slides are coming up. Okay, it's going to be fun. Just wait for this. Maybe you're a little bit more like this, or a little bit cooler like that. Aren't you laughing? I thought you would like boast. All right. I thought they were so funny. All right, but you're not only professionals. You are also private people. And if you're like me, then you sit on a toilet and you look into your iPad and read messages, or I don't know. And everyone must know that, no? And maybe you have friends whom you like to play cards with. Or you are in love. Or you're in love in a cool way. Or you have kids. And you have to play Play-Doh. This is actually much too telling of my personal life. All right. Or you're a dad, and you get to play with trains because you have kids. Or you like to read books in the bathtub and get them soaked. Or at night. You like to snuggle up with your cell phone before you go to bed. All right. How can you help? You can talk to people about this matter, be it your friends, your family, your coworkers, or people on the bus. Because social media posts are also ways to talk to people, but because we are in a special situation here in Switzerland with this right to direct democracy that we have, it is actually a matter of the public. And even your grandmother, who doesn't know anything about computers, will have a say in how we regulate AI and other matters of this digital age. So it's not only the professionals that count, it's everybody. So talk to everybody, basically. And you can vote for our initiative if you live in Zurich. or urge other people to vote. We submitted our initiative in August in past summer 2024, and the vote for the initiative will be in about 2 years. So there's plenty of time for discussion. All right, we're at the end of my talk. If you want to get in touch, those are my contact details. And I am looking forward to our Q&A and maybe talking to you later out in the lobby. I'm curious what you think about all of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Monika. Thanks. Let's give her an applause. So I wonder, we have questions, I assume. Who wants to start? The microphone is coming. Hold on for 2 seconds. 1 second, and there we go.
So you briefly touched on the topic of open source and public scrutiny. What do you think are the implication of like ChatGPT, arguably the biggest machine learning model, the most widely used, currently not actually being open sourced, or I guess in the large language models that there are a few examples maybe that are open source, but probably the most effective ones are still proprietary stuff. So What do you think are the implications of that?
Well, firstly put, I'm not an expert on this, but you are, so maybe I give the question out to you later on. But what I think is AI is a way for surveillance capitalism, not only, but also to scrape massive amounts of data and extend its reach, so that we don't understand how those models work. I see that as a danger. That's what comes up in my mind. But as I said, like that, probably other people in this room are more savvy of this. What do you think, actually?
Yeah, basically the same, that it's a bit concerning that you are feeding so much information into this model that basically belongs to a single private company. And yeah, you don't really know what they're gonna do with all of that. I mean, yeah, there are privacy policies, there are, of course, legal regulations that are already in place, but it's like a company outside of Switzerland, first of all. And yeah, there is no way to check exactly how they are using all of that data. So yeah, I also see it as a bit of a danger.
Yeah, what I think when I sometimes use it, right? I don't feel comfortable because of that, because of the privacy concern. But I'm sure, I mean, with deep data mining, there's just, I know that there are much more prolific profiles that they are able to form with this. And I mean, I know that. Like, okay, I'm on Twitter, and and I use Grok just for, I don't know, test reasons, I guess. But I know that I'm not testing it; it's testing me, right? Yeah, no, I know that, and it's a problem. It's a problem, and if we want to profit from AI, it has to. There has to be another way. It can't be. There has to be an ethical way. I don't know. I don't know the way. It can't. The data cannot belong to someone like that, right? And so they can use it to profit from it, and it's about money in the end. And so I don't know the way. But if we could have an ethical AI, I don't know what that would mean. Where the data would have to be stored, who would have to own this, how this could be possible. That's what I want to say. That's something that other people have to answer, but that's, I think, what we need as a concept, right? Yeah. And currently we're probably in a phase of a technology assessment, right? Where we try to understand what this thing actually is. And it's ongoing because it has an impact on so many spheres of our lives. Yeah, so. But that's what I think. To come back to what we said, what I said in the talk, is we can't do this technology assessment thoroughly in a short amount of time. That's just not possible because it's too complex. So we have to deal with it. So we have to lay basically a groundwork, a legal groundwork, so we can later on tackle each question separately. And this will be an extensive and ongoing and forever process in a way. Yeah. Does that sort of answer your question? All right.
I have a question too, which is probably a little bit off topic because it's not touching AI, but you're in.
I don't know where you are. Where are you? Oh, hi. Hi. Okay.
I took a picture of your 6 single rights, and because I have the feeling they are not there. They are not our rights because the rights are violated. But the point is, most of my colleagues potentially are thinking and aware about the dangers that IT brings to those rights. But my impression is that young people tend to not think about them, tend to throwing them away. Wouldn't it be necessary to have big awareness campaigns for young people?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's absolutely the way to go. It's a matter of education. Because for several reasons, to protect yourself, you have to be educated, but also to, as a citizen here in Switzerland, as it's possible, to use your right to participate in democracy, you have to know about these things. And that's currently not the point. I think, actually, if the public were fully informed and understood these matters, it would be very clear that they would fight for their rights. But no one, it's just too specific of an area, right? Only experts understand it at the moment. And that's another thing that we're trying to change with this initiative. We're trying to bring awareness to the general public so they understand their rights. Yeah.
Okay, here I am.
Hi.
Hello, thank you for your talk. Just to append what you ask, there are several initiatives or several things going on also in the transparency of LLM, large language models. So I do not know if you have heard about the Hugging Face Transparency Report.
What is it called?
Hugging Face, it's a platform about LLMs, and they have a transparency report because it's based not only on what data are you using, also how are you learning with those data, and how do you output if you ask something. So there's a lot of thing going on. And I think with AI, a lot of people have not understood what AI is. And I personally see it as a tool. And I also gave courses, or I've done speeches in public to our community in my little village, and I asked them, do you want to know what AI is? And there were 80 people showing up, curious from like 15 years old to 90 years old. And I introduced them what actually AI is in my view. And there's a lot of things going on also in transparency. I don't know if you have heard about the Dove ethical prompting guide for creating image about beautiful people. There is a lot of things going on also from Germany. There is an ethical prompting guide on how to use AI on an ethical way. So I think also there is things going on, but mostly most people see just AI as a tool from ChatGPT or Anthropic or Mistral and just use it. And once they're used to use it, they will not to use it not anymore. So we are quite in back in schedule, where we have to inform the people actually what AI is and how they can use it. And I'm pretty sure that you can find a way where it's ethical, where you can use AI in an ethical way and manner, if you know what you're doing with it. And most people do not know how to use it, actually. It's a bit long text. Sorry.
No, that might be true. The thing is, I think it's not only you as a user can decide whether it's ethical, right? It's what people who own these models, what they do with it. That's the question for me. That's the.
But you can choose the model.
Yes, you can choose.
Over 1 million models to be used. Some are transparent. You know how they are built and used. And others where you have no clue, like ChatGPT is the worst case. You have no idea what they're doing behind in their system.
Which part of ethics is it that you are talking about, especially, just so I understand? Because I think you might be talking about something else than I do.
The ethic is also what questions are you asking the AI to get the ethical response?
Yes. Okay.
Or the simplest one would be like, okay, describe me a beautiful young woman. And you got like we have in the commercials, you have an ideal picture of some fantasies which are not real. And you can also use AI in an ethical way, like to prompt them so that they will give you a natural response how actually natural beauty is.
Yeah, okay. That way you can influence that. I understand.
This is one way, yeah.
I understand. Okay, yeah. I think I'm so worried about the privacy of these models that about the data scraping that I'm like super focused on that. But you're right. That's yeah, absolutely.
And one thing is, well, you do not have to use those. You can use it on your own personal computer without any problems.
Yes, I know.
So if you're concerned with privacy, there are other ways how you can use AI. But the thing is, like you said before, young people do not care about privacy.
That's the thing. I think it's not that they don't care. They don't understand this.
I think we shouldn't generalize too much. And I would like to have asked the room if there's more questions from some others, because we are looking at the time a bit, because people are, I guess, hungry. There's one question in the third row.
They're hungry for answers.
True, but
Sorry.
We have to break. We have to break to give these answers.
All right.
Many thanks for your presentation so far. I would like to
Hi.
share...
You come from my hometown, and I know that.
Yes.
Yeah. You
Correct.
come from Human-Centric, right? Yeah.
Correct.
That's so funny. All right.
I would like to share a thought. Maybe do you know the TV show Arena?
Yes.
And probably some others do as well. And I would love to see such a regular, active, moderated discussion in Switzerland. The same, I think, they have in the US since 2015 or so. And then people can also share their stories. I'm sure also there are Gen Z representatives. I mean, and they can also share their experience with some topics. So such a regular discussion maybe will be very useful. Pro and con.
Yes, but you mean another a format that only focuses on questions of in the realm of digitalization, or what do you mean another format, or just more formats like that?
The purpose would be to inform the public about the benefits and threats about AI, to discuss what is a reasonable use case or not, and what stories that visitors can share with the TV audience.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think, is there a question involved in this, or this is just an idea?
It's an idea. Just
It's a great idea.
As an extra point, apart social media and our involvement.
Yes. I think actually what you make me think is that we just have to work on pushing these matters and issues into the public discourse. So in Arena, we will talk about this, So, hopefully with initiatives like that, we will succeed with this. And I want you to help. Yeah.
I think that's a great closing work. So thanks a lot, Monica, for being with us.
Thank you.
I think you will be around.
Yes.
Thanks. I think you will be around for the break so that we can continue the discussion.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and everybody have a good lunch break.
Thank you.